Ready pair. Go to the pairing menu on your device.
Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. I hope you are having a fabulous day, and in these late hours of the day, we will be looking at one interesting indicator to see if we can increase our probability and find the ways to figure out the higher probability trades. So, the name of the indicator which we will be looking at in today's session of JForex Indicators Explained is rainbow charts. This is a indicator which is derived using the recursive moving average method. After taking the moving average of just two candle periods, we take recursive average of the moving average for 9 times, so we get the whole band of these smooth differently smooth moving averages. So in all we have 10 lines drawn on the chart, and using these we can figure out if the momentum is strong, how things are shaping up, whether the momentum is bullish or bearish, or if there is a change happening in the current scenario, if the things are simply going sideways. So all these things can be considered when we are using these indicator, the rainbow chart. So let us now head to the JForex4, the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the chart of the Euro USD with each candle period defined at hourly. I will add this indicator from the quick search option. Here is rainbow charts. Now, if you consider this chart and the rainbow charts on the Euro USD chart, you will see that if we simply consider the price action in today's session, we had this convergence of the lines of the rainbow charts earlier in the day, and as the momentum started to turn bearish, we had this increase in the width between these differently smooth moving averages. So this least smooth moving average is at the lower end, and then this higher smoothest moving average is on the top. So we will see that whenever there is a price change, the momentum will be denoted by this least smooth moving average. It will be the first one to turn the corner, and the last one will be the smoothest moving average. So we have to look at this whole picture and see how things are shaping up. So here you can see when we had this convergence of these moving averages, we can clearly draw the inference that the price action is simply going sideways. There is a lack of momentum on either side. So these are the times where we should wait it out. We should see how things are likely to span out once we get much more clarity. So whenever there is this gradual increasing of the width between these different moving averages, we should think about getting involved for the new trade. So that's how this indicator will help you in figuring out the opportunities. So whenever the momentum goes sideways, it will tell you pretty clearly that the things are sideways, and we should be expecting the price moves to remain in a narrow range. Even in case of the higher volatility, even if the range is higher, even in that kind of scenario, if there is not much clarity on the chart, it will show up in this plotting of the rainbow chart. So this indicator is also one of those indicators where you get the clarity on three distinct phases of the underlying instrument, the bullish, bearish, and not to miss the sideways, because it is not enough for us to think about buying or selling. We also need to know when to sit on the sideline. So if we get these indication from these indicators that the things are sideways and there is lack of momentum, a strong momentum is absent on either side, it is also better for us to sit on the sidelines and allow the clarity to emerge so that we can think about initiating the new trades. That is the beauty of this indicator, and makes it quite useful. The underlying logic is very simple. The least smooth moving average is simply the moving average, simple moving average of last two candle period. So there is not much of a lag. Whenever there is a strong move, we will see these two period moving average responding quite fast, and it will more or less move with these price action. And once we add these additional moving averages by taking the recursive method and figuring out this whole band of moving averages numbered 1 to 9, and on top of that we always have this one more, the simple one, moving average. So we have to consider these conjunction. So whenever there is this expansion happening in this rainbow chart band, we have to consider it as the sign that the momentum is strong. It can be bullish or bearish for that matter. If we look at the charts of today's trading session, the momentum was earlier in the day sideways, and then things picked up. We had this strong move and the momentum picked up, so we had this bearish move of almost 30-35 pips on the lower side, which would have been picked up by these initial divergence, initial increasing of the weight between these moving averages. So that was one clear indication that the momentum is picking up and we will do well to think about initiating the new trade. Similarly, if we go back in time and consider the price moves of last couple of sessions, you will see many opportunities coming your way if you were to employ these moving average derived indicator, the rainbow chart. So here we had these big moves, and we also had these sideways scenarios which would have been clearly defined by this indicator. So our job would have become much easier for us to read if the things are getting sideways. It is always a better thing to allow the clarity to emerge. So all we have to do is see how things are looking at the rainbow chart. If there is one clear direction for these all the 10 lines of the rainbow chart, if the least smooth moving average is higher than all the other 9 moving averages, and the most smooth moving average is at the bottom, that is indication of the bullishness, strong bullish tendency in the underlying instrument, and also the price should be moving away from the range of these all the lines. And when price starts to enter Inside this band, we take it as the sign that price momentum is getting weaker and we should watch out for subsequent moves. And for bearishness, we need the conditions of the bullish formation to be reversed. We will need these lower line to be defined as least smooth moving average, and the higher line needs to be the smoothest one. So when that is in place on the chart with these spectrum of rainbow charts pointing downward with increasing width, that means the momentum is quite strong, the momentum is bearish, and we should keep looking for short selling opportunities. So that makes these indicators use fairly simple. Its logic is simple. It is also one of the most responsive indicator, and also it has been designed in a such a way that you have these three possibilities pointed on the chart itself, so you can make things easier for you. You can decide now that the momentum is strong, I will get in for the trade and try to ride out the trade. And if the momentum is not so strong, it is of course better to sit on the sideline. These are the two critical factors, critical decisions which we have to make day in, day out. And that is where the advantage lies with this indicator. Now let us see what we can do in terms of the further customization. Of course, you can vary the calculation period, but the default setup is of to keep these indicator as much responsive as possible. If you increase the moving average period and the recursive smoothing period, you will see that the responsiveness is going to suffer. It won't be that responsive. So that is also one factor which we have to keep in mind. And also you can vary the applied price. Depending on the kind of applied price, you will see slight changes in these plotting of the rainbow charts. Yeah, all this is happening. And if you notice, the shift is quite clear on the chart. Now I am reverting back and I will here use the example. If suppose for example we go for 20 as our moving average period here, the responsiveness of this indicator is going to be quite less, and then we will have to take these things into account and consider how to utilize this indicator in this manner. Okay, so here the plotting of the rainbow chart is looking really smooth, and we have all these coloring shades of this rainbow looking quite beautiful on the chart. But then, like other moving averages, we will also have the shortcomings showing up, as it will become much less responsive. So there will be higher lag in this indicator. Now again, I'm going to revert back to 2 to keep it responsive as per its developers. Output, you can play around with the color combination, but I would suggest to keep it as it is because it is looking already quite beautiful. Levels, it is not going to be much helpful. Advanced editing option, recalculate on new candle only. This will keep the output of the indicator fixed for the current candle period at the levels which were seen at the moment new candlestick came into being. highlight the time period zone, your calculation period will be highlighted, which is 2 in any case, so you don't have to give much attention to this option as well. You can further customize your calculation. You can go for instrument, or you can simply opt for the instrument from the chart. You can go for different candle periods. Even though the chart is of different candle period, you can use a different candle period for calculation. So all these options are there provided on this chart. So you do try it out and see how much this plotting changes when you are using a different candle period for the calculation purpose and the chart candle period is different. The side ask and wait, there will be slight difference but not much, and the direction is going to be the same unless there is a strong deviation and increase in spread of the underlying instrument. Show indicator on all the candle periods, so whenever you vary the charts candle period, it will show up. And if you opt in for particular candle period, then in that scenario only on a chosen time frame this indicator will appear. So that is how this plotting works for the indicator. So that's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me in the feedback and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Have a fabulous time ahead. See you next time around. Till then, goodbye.